Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. This week, we're making a Pulk sled. That's right, we have an adventure coming up where I need to carry some gear behind me, and I didn't have one of these, so it's time to make one ourselves. Stick around and I'll show you how I did it. All right, as you can see, I don't have much here on the table, but we're gonna take all of this and make a Pulk sled. Very simple, very easy. I'll go over each of the tools that I'm gonna use and each of the items that I purchased to make this. Electric drill with a 1/4-inch drill bit. This is gonna help me drill the holes into the actual sled itself. A tape measure for being able to make sure my holes are actually measured accurately. A saw to cut the 10-foot pole of PVC into 2 5-foot sections. A lighter to burn the ends of the paracord so they don't slip. A pair of scissors to cut the paracord, and a silver Sharpie to mark the black sled where I'm going to drill the holes. 4 cheap carabiners. These are weighted for 150 pounds each. I wouldn't trust it, but they're good enough for what we need. 2 U-bolts, a bunch of paracord. I don't need this much, but extra is never a bad thing. A 10-foot length of 1/4-inch PVC for the poles. And finally, a cement mixing tub used for the sled. We'll see how this goes. The first thing I'm going to do is cut this 10-foot PVC pipe into 2 poles that are 5-foot length. They're going to connect from my hip belt to the sled so that we can pull the sled along. So let's get that started right now. Okay, as you can see, we got 2 equal length poles here, 1/4-inch PVC. These are about 5 feet in length. So we're gonna set those to the side, and now we're gonna cut some paracord. And the first 2 lengths of paracord I'm gonna cut are gonna be about 6 feet each because they're gonna go through these poles, and I wanna have some left on the ends to tie off some carabiners and stuff. All right, 2 equal lengths of paracord. We're gonna feed them through the pipes in just a minute. A lot of the DIY Pulk sled instructions have you just run the paracord right through here. I'm not gonna do that exactly. I saw a couple of other instructions that had a little hack where you drilled a hole right through the pipe here to help you tie off on each end, have a really nice strong loop. So that's what we're gonna do here. So we're gonna measure about an inch, inch and a half from the end of the pole and drill a 1/4-inch hole all the way straight through on either end so that we have some place to tie off the paracord. Now we'll drill straight through. Okay, poles are ready, paracord's ready, and we're gonna feed this all the way through until it goes all the way down to the bottom. Keep going, keep going. Almost there. There we go. And we're through. Look at that. We got it on either end. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna feed this right through the hole on both sides, right there. Okay, then we're gonna tie a big knot right here. to prevent this from coming through. And here's the tag end. And we're just going to tie a really big knot right here to prevent it from going through this hole. All right. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just has to prevent it from sliding back through. So we'll make it big. Give it a good tug to make sure it's not going to come out. That's nice and secure. All right. We'll do the same thing on the other end. We've got our paracord through each of our poles and a loop on each end. So let's connect those carabiners so that we can be done with the poles and move on to the sled. Okay, as I said earlier, this is actually a cement mixing tub that I picked up at the hardware store. It is deep, and I think it's big enough definitely for the gear that I'm going to be carrying out. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through and measure along the sides here and drill some holes. The first 2 holes in the front are going to be for the U-bolts that'll connect to the poles. And then the holes that are going to be around the sides and in the back are going to be for tie-outs to strap bungee cords to keep our gear inside. So let's go through and measure that out. We're actually lucky in this particular sled. There's measurements along the sides already, so it's going to be pretty quick and easy, I think. The sled edge to edge here is 2 feet wide. And these U-bolts that I got are 1 inch. Just 1 inch on center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure in 3 inches from each edge and then mark it, and then that's where we're going to put these bolts. So I'll put the one end on the mark for the 3 inches and then mark wherever this is, drill my holes and attach these bolts so that the carabiners on the poles can clip right in and clip off, and it'll be easy, and you can actually take it apart, move it around if you need to. So let's get that started. This is not going to be exact, but it'll be pretty close. So we'll mark the 3 inch mark there, come over here, and mark about 3 inches there. And then what we'll do is we'll go right in the middle here. So it's about 1.5 inches. But I don't think I want to have the curve in there, so we're gonna go and right on the square spine of that, and right there for that. That's pretty good. Again, this is do-it-yourself gear, so it doesn't have to be exactly perfect. Like I said, we're gonna put one in there, that'll be there, and this one over here, that'll be there. Let's drill some holes. Nice and easy. Now we flip it over, that on there, get these nuts on. There we go. There you go. And we'll be able to clip the carabiner right in there. Let's get the other side done. Okay, after playing with it for a little bit, trial and error, I've come up with a much better design for these hooks. As you can see, I'm actually putting nuts on the top and then have the nuts underneath as well. So this actually is really secure, very strong, and works perfectly. So I'm going to do this on both sides, and then we'll be done with that part. So at this point, the sled is actually done. Clip these on here like that. You can see these ends clip to your pack or your belt or whatever you want, and you can pull this around. That's the gist of it, right? So you can put your gear in here, but if you don't do the next step, your gear is going to fall out. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill some holes along the side here and put some handles, essentially rope handles, so that we can take bungee cords, strap the gear in nice and tight, nice and secure, and be ready to go for the backcountry. So let's get these holes drilled and get those handles on. Like I mentioned earlier, the mixing tub has measurements on the side already. So what I did was I went through and took 4-inch segments, equidistant, and made 3 of them. So we've got 4 inches here, 4 inches here in the middle, and another 4 inches on the side here. So I'm going to drill these holes out, mark the same on the other side here, and then we'll work on the back. So for the back of the sled, I'm actually going to put 2 loops back here as well. And the reason I'm going to do 2 is because then, if we need to, we can crisscross bungee cords from the back loop here to the front U-bolt here, where we have the carabiners connected. So that'll just keep it all nice and tight when we're moving. So we're going to do a couple more holes back here, and then we're going to run the line right through. All told, we have 8 different gear loops that we're going to be putting in. And so what I did was I cut about 10.5, 11 feet worth of paracord, and we're just going to weave it through. We'll tie a big knot on one end and weave it through and tie a big knot to close it all out. So check this out. It's super simple, way easy, and pretty efficient actually. We'll come up from the bottom here, go down, pull that through so that the knot comes up to the end. Here we go. We've got a loop. We'll continue that all the way around. This is the last one we're gonna do. Now we'll go through and we'll adjust, make sure we've got a little bit of a pull available on each one of these loops. That way we have something to hook the bungee cords onto. So we're gonna go do that, and then I'm gonna tie a knot right on the end of this, and I think we're 100% done and ready to test it out a little bit. Don't have much snow, but pull it around the backyard a little bit. We'll see what happens. The sled's completely done. I don't have any load in it really other than the bungees. So let's hook it up and take it around the yard for a walk. See what happens. Okay, and that's it. I'm pretty proud of how it came out. I think it's about $36 worth of materials and probably like 45 minutes worth of work, mostly because the front bolts, I had to redo that a couple times until I found the right way for me. So I'm really excited that this is done. I'm even more excited to be taking it out on an adventure in a couple weeks, so I hope you'll stick around for that. If you enjoyed this, make sure you give it a thumbs up. This is my first real do-it-yourself gear video. Might do a couple more of these. If you're interested, make sure you subscribe to the channel, because you never know what's going to come. We have a video come out every single week, and it might be this, it might be adventure stuff, it might be question and answers, all kinds of stuff planned for the year. But the most important thing is, until we can get together again, make sure you get outside and do something awesome every single day. Thanks for watching.